come to the end of September 2020. This month, honestly, did not pick up much really at all. There's barely anything here. Well, there's a good bit here, but compared to my last couple of months, like back to June, where June, July, August, I picked up a lot because all the stores reopened. I got really excited while the stores were reopening, and then I kind of spent a good bit of money. But this month, honestly, there isn't really an awful amount here. But you know, to get started, I got my Baby Yoda t-shirt on, and this was not planned or anything, but I also picked up the Baby Yoda. This came out months ago. Remember everyone was putting in their haul videos on like March or something. I was so contemplating. It was in my Amazon basket for months and months. I was thinking, will I get it, will I not? And I really wasn't sure. Wasn't Smith's one day seeing it. I'm like, yeah, actually no. It was the day, because I sold my Xbox One this month and a lot of games and all Blu-rays. And I went to Smith's on my way home and I seen that. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna buy Baby Yoda, and I'm thrilled I did, because he is absolutely adorable. Like, look at that little smile, and you know what? I'm gonna keep him right here because I don't want to put him on the floor or anything. But also in the Funko Pops, I picked up Santa. This is the Tim Allen version of Santa. I've got the other version of him in his with the lights around them, and I was just gonna pick that one up, but I was contemplating, will I get this, will I not get this? And I showed my girlfriend. She goes, are you really not going to pick up the other Santa Claus? So now I've got both Santa Clauses, because for me personally, these Tim Allen Christmas Santa Claus movies I adore. Well, 1 and 3, I'm not really a big fan of 2, but every Christmas I watch them. I just love the Santa Claus movies. So getting Funko Pops of them, they kind of made sense for me. Also, another Funko Pop, which I really wouldn't consider a pop, is the 10-inch Chucky, that I think I wasn't really going to get it. I think it came out 2 weeks. I was like, I'm okay, I won't get it. And then I was just looking and I was thinking, this is a 10-inch Funko of Chucky. I love Chucky. Why wouldn't I get a 10-inch Funko with Chucky? So I picked up Chucky, and I've loved him. I actually love him. Like, I was just here over to my, what is this, my right or your left. I got all my Blu-rays here, and he's just been sitting there with the Blu-rays, and I just love it. Every time I go up the stairs, it's the first thing I see, and I love it. So I'm really glad I did get it. I don't know why I was contemplating not buying it, because it's just, it is gorgeous. Look how freaking awesome that is. I hope they do other kind of Chucky stuff. I'd love the Chucky with the Jack in the Box where he's chopping off the head. That's another one I would love, but who knows if they'll actually do that as a pop vinyl. But hopefully we do get some other horror icons in that big form. Also, I picked up a few NECA horror figures this month. One that as soon as it came out for pre-ordered, I had to jump on it. Finally, I've got Ghostface merchandise. Scream merchandise, there is none anywhere unless you want to pay €200 for a pop, which I am not paying €200 for a pop. But NECA has finally released their Ghostface pop. Only downside, which actually, you know what, isn't even really a downside. The costume is cloth, and now that I'm saying it, of course it'd be cloth. Why would it be hard? I'm glad it's cloth, and I'm just really excited to add this with my collection. I've got Freddy, I've got Jason, I've got Michael, and now I've got Ghostface, and I'm quite happy to add this to the collection. Also, in the horror NECA figures, I picked up Ash. If you asked me last month, you're going to pick up an Ash figure, I would have said, no, I'm not. But in this last month, I watched The Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness, and I've started Ash versus the Evil Dead. Now I've become a big fan of Ash, so I immediately went out and picked up an Ash figure, which is fucking awesome. I'm really excited to open that one up. He's probably going to go with my horrors, but I don't know if he's going to go with my horror icons, because I wouldn't consider him a horror icon. But if you want to hear my more in-depth thoughts of the Evil Dead franchise, my ranking of that will be dropping tomorrow. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe so you can see that ranking tomorrow. But in terms of games, I picked up Super Mario 3D All-Stars. This game, I heard about it, I'm going to say 2 months before, or not 2 months, 2 weeks before it came out. I was like, oh yeah, I'm 100% getting that. Not for Super Mario Galaxy, not for Super Mario Sunshine, but for Super Mario 64. I actually never even heard of Super Mario Sunshine before this game came out. Super Mario Galaxy, I think I played the first 2 or 3 levels as a kid, and I really didn't like it. I kind of said, you know what, no, I traded that game in. I think I bought Skylanders with the money I got for Super Mario Galaxy. But Super Mario 64 was my shit growing up. I remember playing that all the time. I never completed the game, so I'm really happy now to have this on the Switch to actually complete the game, because I could never complete it. I don't know why. I always restart it. When I got to a point where I couldn't complete it, I would just restart the game and then go through the easy levels again, then get to the point again where I got stuck, and then I go, oh, let's just restart the game again. So I never actually complete this game. But like last month or a month ago or 2 months ago, my sister actually gave me her old DS, so I was going to buy this for the DS, and I lost it at an auction for, I think I was going to be paying like 25-30 euro for it. I'm kind of glad I got it on the Switch now, because it's a better console. I like to hold the Switch, so I'm glad I do have that on Switch now. Also, another game is the Marvel's Avengers, and I was massively disappointed with this. I'm not finished or anything. I'd say I'm only a quarter of the way through, but I'm not enjoying it. I think Kamala Khan is a great character. I'm enjoying her. I knew nothing about her. I knew her powers, and that was it. But actually watching her in this, or playing her in this, I'm really excited for her TV series to come out, because I'm really excited to see more of this character, see her in the MCU. So I'm looking forward to that TV show coming out. But the game itself, I was just disappointed. I was expecting a lot more from a Marvel's Avengers game. I was expecting it to be a bit more like a Spider-Man game, and it really isn't. And honestly, I was just disappointed. So I think at some stage I'll play it, probably over Christmas. I think I would go back into that game and play it a bit more. But for the moment, I have no real interest in going back to it. But that's everything I picked up that isn't Blu-rays, and there's only about 11 Blu-rays I'd say here. So let's kick in with the Blu-rays. A good few horrors. First up was Paranormal Activity. I watched this one about 2 months ago. I had to watch it with my girlfriend, because as you see, don't watch it alone. So we watched it together. It was actually pretty creepy. I wasn't really expecting it to be creepy, because you always hear this, people, oh, the found footage movies, oh yeah. And it was actually my first found footage movie, so I didn't really know what to expect going into it. But I enjoyed it. I think the sequels are all coming to Netflix. I think we probably will watch the rest of the movies. But we did enjoy it. She was kind of getting a bit creeped out. Me, I think there's a couple of scenes that got me, but for the majority of it, I think our biggest complaint was we were both giving out about the boyfriend character. She was clearly terrified, and you still did all this stuff. I'm like, oh god, you're just being an asshole, man. Listen to her. And that was our biggest complaint about this movie. But overall, we both enjoyed it, so it was pretty good. Another one we watched the day before or the day after was Escape Room. This is one of those movies that we're actually getting a sequel to this. We were meant to get it actually this year. We meant to already have it, but I don't know why it's been pushed back. But I think the sequel to this, it kind of really sets it up. If you've seen the movie, you know at the ending they really set up for a sequel. But the movie itself, I really did enjoy it. It felt like a very, as you say, it's 15s. It felt very much like the younger version of Saw, because we actually binge watched the whole Saw franchise a few months ago. So this one here, it just felt very much like an easier version of the Saw movies. But the escape room movies, I actually found them fun. All the atmospheres, all the escape rooms they were put into was really good, and I actually am looking forward to the sequel whenever that does come out. I also picked up both of the Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. I actually have a lot of fun with these. This one here in particular, I think that's a lot better. That reminds me a lot of the 80s cartoon, I think it was. 80s as well as the early 2000s one, which is the one I watched all the time. And this one there just reminds me a lot of it. This one here, I do enjoy it. I have a lot of fun with it, but just this one works a lot more for me. And it was just, I think I got them both for €12, as in it was 2 for 12, and the fact that they both came with slipcovers made me want to buy them even more. And I haven't watched them in a while. I thought I owned them on Blu-ray, but I never did, so now I own them on Blu-ray. But I'm kind of happy to have those movies, because I do have a lot of fun with them. I'm disappointed we're never going to get the sequel, because if I remember correctly, the second one ends on sort of a cliffhanger where the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were revealed to the world, so who knows, we're never going to probably see anything from that. But those two movies, I do enjoy them for the most part. Also, picked up another horror movie, because pick up The Exorcist, because we're meant to be getting a remake. I think 2021 or 2022 we're getting the remake. So I picked up the first one. Haven't actually watched it yet, but I'm actually excited to watch it. I put it in the Blu-ray player last night, and then I was like, no, I'm not really in the mood for a horror, so I turned it off, and then I went to Netflix, and then I watched Unfriended Dark Web instead, which is another horror. So I decided to turn this horror off to put a different horror movie on. So who knows how my brain works, but eventually I will watch that, and then looking forward to seeing the remake next year, because people say this is one of the all-time best horror movies, so I am looking forward to watching that one. Also, here's our new release I did unboxing for on Friday, which is Scoob. this movie just, I had a lot of fun with it. Even though I know why a lot of people don't like it. I get the complaints. I just really enjoyed it because it's Scooby-Doo. I grew up watching Scooby-Doo all the time. I was obsessed with Scooby-Doo. One of my earliest memories is like, there was a Saturday and all they did in Boomerang was just play Scooby-Doo. So I just sat in the living room all day watching Scooby-Doo episode after Scooby-Doo episode, just loving the hell out of it. I've got like, I'd say about a 3 foot tall Scooby-Doo teddy bear that my brother has now stolen because I'm getting him into Scooby-Doo, and slowly but surely it is working. So I just had to pick up Scooby as well. This movie did kind of rekindle my love for the Scooby-Doo franchise itself. I watched loads of them since then, and I'm probably going to pick up more, not on Blu-ray but DVD, because they're not on Blu-ray and I do want some Scooby-Doo movies in my collection, so I've got to buy them on DVD just because of that. Also, it's my only steelbook this month. Psycho was released on 4K, so I picked that up. I love this 4K steelbook. I haven't watched it on 4K yet, but I found out Psycho is one of a franchise. There is 4 Psycho movies. I never knew that. I thought there was just the one Psycho and then the remake from 20 odd years ago with Vince Vaughn, but apparently there's sequels. Didn't know that, so I watched Psycho 2, which I think is really good. I was expecting the Psycho kind of sequels to be really, really bad, but Psycho 2 I thought was great. I really enjoyed Psycho 2, so I'm going to find a way to watch Psycho 3 and Psycho 4, and then I'll probably end up watching the remake to see how it compares to this, because people always complain about the remake, how bad it is, just a carbon copy of this. So I'm probably going to watch that, because after watching 2, I'm really excited to watch more of the Psycho universe. Hopefully Psycho 3 and 4, I don't know, haven't looked up anything, so I hope they are as good as Psycho 2, because Psycho 2 was a fantastic sequel. Also, picked up The Evil Dead from 2013. This is the only one in my collection I didn't have. I had the trilogy, so I picked up Evil Dead the other day, or about 2 weeks ago. I really enjoyed this. You'll hear my ranking tomorrow, where it ranks on the Evil Dead franchise. But for this movie, I had a lot of fun, which I really wasn't expecting to have as much fun with this movie as I did. This one right here was a gift from my sister. I got Hall Pass and Yes Man. We were in this bookstore. I seen there was some DVDs, and then I seen, oh look, there's a Blu-ray here. It was like €3, so I jokingly said to my sister, hey, get me this, and she goes, yeah, no problem. Hall Pass, I've seen in the past. I really wasn't a fan of it when I seen it, but Yes Man, I only watched that during quarantine, and I had a bit of fun with that because like I like Jim Carrey, but I like those two as well. Yes Man, it just did not work for me. But now that I own it, I'll probably give it a rewatch and see if it goes up or down or anything. And this is another one here. We got Talladega Nights. This is one of those comedies with Will Ferrell from the early 2000s that everyone always runs to. And now I've seen all of the early 2000s Will Ferrell movies, except this one. So I picked this one up whenever I picked up Paranormal Activity. Haven't watched it yet. It's on my list to watch it, but I just haven't got around to it yet. But people always compare this to like the Step Brothers, Anchorman, especially because it's got John C. Reilly as well. So I will watch this soon. I do want to watch this soon, so it's definitely on my list. But I found out the woman there, for some reason, I just glanced at it and I just assumed it was the woman from Anchorman. But it's actually, if you have seen The Babysitter, the mother in The Babysitter is actually that woman there. So I was kind of taken back by that and was a bit surprised because she doesn't look anything like that now. So that's what happens. And then last Blu-ray was The Lost Boys. When I ordered The Evil Dead on Amazon, I just threw this in it as well because it was like €4 and it was just cheaper to get them both together. Then separately is another one. Haven't watched it. I actually don't know anything about it. All I know is, and I'm assuming, it's vampires. So I will watch this one soon enough. It's actually directed as well by the guy who did Batman and Robin and Batman Forever, who I'm blanking on his name. His name is Joel Schumacher. So I'm going to watch this, like when he died earlier in the year, everyone was putting up this as well as the Batman movies. I only put the Batman movies because that's all I had. But now I've got The Lost Boys. I will watch it. People always say when Joel Schumacher is a bad director, they go, ah yeah, but have you seen The Lost Boys? So I'll be watching this one soon enough, and I'm actually excited to watch this as well because just like The Exorcist, I haven't seen it, and apparently it's one of those classic horror movies. But that is everything I picked up in the month of September. Like I said, guys, there's not really much here. Blu-rays, the pile is like a third of what it was last month. Last month I kind of went crazy. This month, not so much. But if you want to see more from me in the future, especially this month, I'm going to be doing a lot of horror rankings this month. I've got a Chucky one planned. I'm going to try watch the original It movie. It's just the runtime kind of knocked me off. So if I do watch that movie, you're going to get a ranking of the It movies. As I said, Evil Dead drops tomorrow. So if you want to see all that and more within the month of October, click that subscribe button. And as always, thanks for watching.